Alright, good afternoon everybody, this is Steve. Welcome to the Little Wood Shop, and as part of our Vcarve Pro Pine Slab Scene tutorial, we're going to get you rolling here in just a second. But before we do, the one thing that I wanted to do was I wanted to bring up the website really quick that I use to where I go and get all of the imagery. All of the imagery that's going to be in this tutorial today did in fact come from this website. Alright. This is openclipart.org. These are a free to use. We'll get to the license in just a second. You can basically go in. You will see this imagery in one of the engravings that we're going to be working on. All right. This gentleman, Johnny Automatic, I've become very fond of this individual. He's done a lot of line art and some very good drawings that I've shared with all of you coincidentally as well. You'll notice under the download section you have a chance to download it as a small, medium, or large PNG file, plus you can also download it as a PDF, so you have your vector image file. Alright? And then let's go to their home page. Let's come down to the bottom and we're going to look at the license. On the bottom, OpenClipArt is 100% public domain. Unlimited commercial use. We try to make it clear that you may use all clip art from OpenClipArt even for unlimited commercial use. Okay? This is where I get all of my imagery that I use for our shop, as well as our open source library that we share with all of you. Okay? Alright, I just wanted to clear that up for everyone. Alright, let's get started. I'm going to bring in a copy of Vcarve Pro. I am going to come up to create a new file, and my old presets are in here. Now I told you the maximum capacity on my machine is 50.249. However, I told you we are going to be programming on the introduction of this video. We shot a couple days ago. I told you we're going to program this on the X. We'll end up rotating it when the design is all laid out. We have to rotate it on the Y so it will then fit under the gantry. Alright, because my machine is 48 by 36. Alright. I will show you on the table as well how to relocate and how to move material to the next milling position if you go outside of the boundaries of your machine's capabilities. But for the sake of this video, as well as this project, we're going to be keeping this project at 48 by 20, even though I do have a maximum milling capacity of 50 inches on my y-axis. Alright, so I'm 48 by 20. My material, I always start off the top of my material. My slab is roughly 3 inches thick. My datum position starts in the middle. Unit of measurements in the United States is inches. Alright, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up our folder that we have pulled. This is all the imagery that I've got for you guys for this particular tutorial. Now, some of this I've never used before, and you'll see in a minute. But some of it I've never used before, so this is going to be a brand new spanking build. Now, I told you I give you a PNG, which will be your raster image file, and you get a PDF, which will be your vector file. I'm going to slide him out of the way real quick, and I'm going to drag in the first piece that I want to use. Alright. We're going to come in here, and it doesn't matter where. Let's start out with transform objects. We're going to align him, and we're going to put him dead center in the middle. Okay, great. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight him anywhere as I can. Transform objects. We're going to set selected object size. Right now we can see that there is a bunch of extra garbage in here. Well, let's go get rid of some of that garbage. Alright. I don't know where or why these lines are in here, but they're pretty easy to just delete and get rid of. Alrighty. First thing I'm going to do, because what I want to do is I want to use just the upper half of the little farmhouse with the trees and the little stacks of corn. All this stuff down on the lower half of the frame, we're going to get rid of right now. Alright, I'm going to need to go to Edit Objects, Node Editing. I need to do a break. So let's zoom in right here. I'm going to come in, I'm going to right click, I'm going to insert a point, then we're going to right click, we're going to delete the span, we're going to right click, we're going to delete the span. I'll highlight him real quick. No, I'm sorry. I'll highlight him, and then I'm going to, in Edit Objects, I'm going to join or close vectors with a curve. Curve or straight, it really doesn't matter at the moment. I'm going to come over here, and now we're going to do the exact same thing over here. I'm going to come up a little higher, though, to do the break. Alright, I'll come right here, right click, insert a point. This is all while we are under Edit Objects, Node Editing. A lot of repetition, and that's what you're going to hear throughout this video, folks. A lot of repetition. Right click, delete span. I'm going to highlight him again. I'll right click, I'll delete the point. I want to connect these 2 points. I will come down to Edit Objects, Join and Close Vectors with a Smooth Curve. Okay, that's all done. We've now isolated the upper half of this. I can literally come down here under Edit Objects, Selection Mode. I will come down here now, and I am going to pull as much of this as I can. Whoop! Without taking everything I don't need. Alright, let's delete that. This much is gone. Let's highlight the lower down here. I'm doing all of this, folks. Edit Objects, Selection Mode. I just come in, I highlight it holding down my left mouse key. Hit delete. Hit delete. If you take something out you shouldn't, go up here to your undo, your back arrow. It'll put it back. Alright? Alright, I'm going to come into here. I want to get rid of all of this clutter. Again, I don't know what these straight lines are, but we do need to get rid of them. And there are a bunch of them. Okay. Now, we'll have to figure out how to get him out later. Oh, let's come down here. We'll get this line. And we've got one over here. And one right there. One right here. So, as we peruse around, we're going to probably see these lines throughout. Because even though you're looking at them right now, you may not see them later. But we will try to knock as many out as we can. Again, I have no reason or idea as to why they're there. Alright. All the little stuff too, you've heard me tell you guys before, you'll want to get rid of this small stuff, the real teeny tiny clutter. Don't even waste the time making the router millet. It's so little that it's not going to add enough detail to amount to anything. So we'll get rid of all of that. Alright, we're not going to tie you guys up, so we're going to pause the video real quick. I'm just going to go in and get rid of these straight lines that we still see some over here. I'm going to get rid of those. I'm going to clean up some of the small scatter, and we'll be right back. Alrighty, now with all of our straight lines gone, I have cleaned up some of the smaller clutter and small little pieces that you see like this. I'm sure that I am going to go back over this, undoubtedly, and take even more out, alright? What I want to do, though, before I position this section where I want it, I'm going to highlight this side over here. I want to come in and I want to start getting rid of some of these nodes. Alright. We're able to get that drop down done. What I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight Edit Objects, Selection Mode. We're going to come in, we're going to highlight this whole piece. Now, as we look at this, we see 4 quadrants that are basically 2 feet by 10 inches. I'm trying to do this build in these quadrants, if you would, alright? I'm going to take a peek at him, and I'm going to take a peek at his size. Oh goodness, helps if I get the right one. Transform objects, set selected object size, highlight him. Alright. 24.704 by 9.702. Well, I'll tell you what, that's pretty close to what I have within a few thousandths of an inch on my other monitor, because I've already got this built. So we end up rebuilding it again, but at least I had something. I have something on another monitor that you currently can't see to go by. So yes, I'm cheating just a little bit. All right, this is the first section that I wanted to get done. We've got it done. I have no idea what that is. All right. Next step I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in another piece to download. The next piece I'm looking at, I told you, was this little cabin with this beautiful little babbling brook running down through, okay? I'm going to pull this out of the way. I'm going to pull the vector image or the PDF file in. We're going to drop him. While he's lit up, I'm going to highlight him again, and I am going to drag him right out of the way. First thing we're going to need to do is resize him. Alright, let's come up to Transform Objects, Set Selected Object Size. We're going to highlight him. With him highlighted, I'm going to go with a width of him. Let's go with a width of 13.68. Make sure that your link X and Y is checked. That way there, by having your link X and Y checked, whatever adjustment you make to the X, then symmetrically the same will be done to the Y. If you made the adjustment to the Y, this is checked. Symmetrically, we'll make the adjustment to the X, okay? Let's close him out. I'm going to now move him over and in place. Let's zoom in a little bit. Now, I don't particularly care if a couple of these toolpaths run over on each other. I really don't. This one up here is no big deal. This here, we're going to get rid of. I want this to kind of do a blend. We can always take away, we can add more stuff. That's no big deal. But for the moment, let's zoom out here. Alright, we've got the upper half. We've got a beautiful farm scene here with our little farmhouse. We got our rolling dirt road coming up in. We got our corn, all of our corn stalks stood up, drying, probably to feed to the cattle. And on the other side of this little mountainous range, we've got our cabin. Alright, what is the next piece we want to drag in? Well, let's go find that. Alrighty. This is the next piece we're going to put in. This is a charming little waterfall. I think it'll look good. The trees off to the side here will certainly isolate the edge of the workpiece. We'll see what you think, alright? Let me pull and drag that in right now. Alright. We can see that he's all lit up now. Ah, boy. Now, this is going to be easier to do than not. In a case where I've dropped this image in that's this size, and now it's run into the other one, I'm just going to go back. I'm going to wipe it out altogether, and then I'm going to drag it back in. And each time I drag it in, it will lighten up. What I want to do is make sure I've got all my node points lit up. I'm going to drag him over. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to check out the size of him on our demo. We'll be right back. Alright, let's take this one up here and let's readjust him. Transform objects. Set selected object. Set selected object size. My God, it is getting to be the end of the day here. All right, we're gonna come down and we're gonna resize him to 10.15. Now we're pretty close to the top. If need be, we can always come in and swap some of that out, get rid of it. It doesn't matter. Okay, we do have some issues over here. Edit objects, selection mode. I'm going to get rid of this guy. Highlight him with delete. Highlight him, delete him. Okay. So now we've got the waterfall in place, the cabin. Let's add one more piece, shall we? We have more to add, but for tonight we'll add one more piece. Alright, let me bring the folder back up. Next thing we're going to add is Johnny Automatic, the snow scene. I'm going to grab it though in a PDF in an already pre-vectorized format. I'll move it out of the way. Let me drag it in. Again, I'm going to highlight the red somewheres, pink, whatever color this is. We're going to drag him right down out of the way. I'm going to put him down lower. Now, what I want to do here, again, I want to resize him because I want to know, to scale him, what is going to proportionally look right. Alright, let's go in and let's readjust size. Transform objects, select object size. Let's try him at 14.65. The other thing that we can see is we've got some crazy lines and other things going on. We're going to get rid of some of that right now. Let's get rid of this one. Again, transform objects, selection mode, move selected objects, okay. We highlight him, we delete him. I'm going to come down. Again, I want to get rid of this frame. We don't need the box. Alright, as with all things, if we want to get some of these borders out of here, we've got to backtrace them to their source. When we go to do the breaks on these, what else will it affect down the road? And yes, we do have more of these crazy straight lines that we'll need to get rid of. But for the moment, let's concentrate on this frame. Okay. If I cut in here, I'm not going to affect anything there. Same thing down here. He's broken up, but he's separated here. Let's go look down in the corner. Okay, down in the corner, we've got a 90 degree. We'll end up losing this one piece of effect here, which is no big deal. Alright, the break needs to be done in here. This is where everything continually just rewraps itself. So let's go into Edit Objects, Node Editing. Alright, I want to take, right here, I'm going to right click, I'm going to delete this span. I am going to come down here. And let's delete this point. Let's delete this point. Alright, well now we've got it. We have separated everything around the frame. Everything was tied in this one little corner right here, which is no big deal. With all these nodes lit up now, we can hit the delete on our board. Let's come back into Edit Object Selection mode. I'm going to highlight all of this, get it out of here. Now you can see we have some more of these straight lines to attend to. Again, folks, I don't know how they're getting in there, but again, it's free open source clip art, so we don't look a gift horse in the mouth. And the young artist who was nice enough to donate these, well, we'd have to say thank you to him for his hard work. All right. Again, you stare at something long enough, and you almost sometimes see things that aren't there. So we're going to come up now, we're going to highlight him, I'm going to highlight him again, and I am now going to move him up into place. I am just trying my darndest right now to make sure that there's a good blend with everything, that there aren't big open pockets. You know, I'm going to even work on the finished one a little bit more. But for this evening, folks, I'd say this is it. We've still got to put in. The only horse that I could find that I really liked was a picture of a nice couple in a horse-drawn sleigh, and that's basically what all of this is going to be around. It's going to be a beautiful, maybe a frozen waterfall. We could always airbrush some color to the trees, the cabin, the water. We could add a lot more white because it is winter, and this is primarily, for me, it's a winter scene up here. Or at the very least, you know, it's late fall, real late autumn, and maybe there's a dusting of snow on the ground. I don't know. We'll figure out colors and all that as we go. But for now, we're going to stop here for the evening, and we're going to finish up in the morning, and we'll get the rest of this done and out to you all. All right? All right, everyone. Thank you. All right, everybody. Well, we are back. Hopefully, everybody had a good night's sleep. Now, what we're getting ready to do is we're getting ready to drop in the last couple pieces, and then we're going to cut all the tool paths for all of this, and we'll walk you through it as we go. Alrighty. I told you before, this is the folder that will be included in the download package with all the different little houses and some of the different waterfalls and scenes. Now, this piece that we are putting together, most of these engravings I have personally never used before. They are out of openclipart.org. Alright. Next piece we want to bring in, let me bring that back up here. I want to bring in this charming little sled. Alrighty. Let me light him up and bring him down here out of the way. Excellent. I want to rotate him just a little bit. Oh, a little too much. And I definitely want to resize him because I feel right now he's too small. We're going to go into Transform Objects. Select Object Size. And I told you, as long as your X and Y box is checked, whatever you adjust will automatically readjust on your other axis. We're going to make this 8.0 inches wide. We're going to click Apply. I'm trying to keep the scale of this within reason to the covered bridge. We want to get Mr. Horse over here. I want to get him ready to cross the bridge. All right. The other thing that we're going to do is I've got to create a bit of a road going up to the farm here. This is eventually where this little couple are going to be traveling to. Maybe they were over visiting their buddy in the cabin. Who knows? All right. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to zoom in here. I like this whole hook and this whole curvature right here. I'm going to highlight him. The way we do that, Edit Objects, Selection Mode. Whatever I can't, holding down my left mouse key, whatever I can't highlight and get, I hold down my Shift key. I go in and I light it up. I'm going to come here. I'm going to click again and get all my nodes lit up. I'm going to right click. I'm going to copy. I'm going to right click. I'm going to paste. I'm going to scroll out, and now I'm going to move this over. Basically what I want to do here is hold down my Shift key. Let's zoom in again. We're going to rotate this. I want this to simulate the curvature in my road, if I can. I'm going to bring him up to, oh, say, right about over here. Alright, the other thing we can do here is we can grab some of this stuff up here if we want. We'll actually grab the two. Oh, no, we'll grab just the two of these. I'm sorry. Let's try this one more time. Let's grab these. Right-click copy, right-click paste. Highlight them, drag them where you want them. Alright. Other thing we can do, that's what I mean. I've got all these straight lines that are just, they're everywhere on this stuff. I keep finding them here and there. There's another one. Alright, not to get too sidetracked though. Let's what else can we use for a little bit of fill in the road here? Let's grab all this, right click copy, right click paste. We'll drag him. I'll move him up to here. Then if you want, you can stretch him. There really is no right or wrong way. Just try to make it look as visually appealing as you can. Try to make it look as, and scale it as proportional as you possibly can. Really no big deal here. Now, I want to add some more highlights to this road. So that's what I think we're going to do. Alright. Now, as we chip away at our road, we can steal things from certain locations to put in others. We know that. Your road, your layout for your road, we're also going to put some tracks here behind the sleigh. And I also want to put some water coming down so that it looks as though it's running under the little bridge here. One of the things that we're going to probably do is I'm going to come up in here. I think I'm going to get rid of all of this. This is, to me, it's just a little unsightly. It's going to take away from the piece. And I'll get rid of that little piece. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some water trickling down through here. I told you I also want to add, a little bit to the underside of, oh, too much. Let's hold down the shift key while in selection mode. Okay, copy, paste, highlight it, and just drag it out of your way. Now we can take and we can rotate this stuff. Put it wherever you'd like. Alright, these aren't bad. I want to start angling them though to make the curve. I'm going to highlight these separately and then we're just going to pull these up. What else can we throw in here? I think I'm going to move this one separately just to break it up. I don't want it to look as though it's a common pattern. I don't want things to look as though they're being repeated over and over and over again. All right. We can take here. Let's copy, and this is going to be entirely up to how much detail all of you want to put in here. You can add in more, you can add in less. Up here, as far as this waterfall is concerned, maybe having a few rapids won't be bad. You can put this stuff in, you can always go back and delete it afterwards. But we can at least, at the very least, we can try to give it some type of breakup. I don't want all these blank spaces in here, because then I want this to kind of be a flow. I want everything to flow into each other and look normal. Now, like I said, we've already got this put together. I've got this completed, and we've got all the tracks and whatnot in here. Basically, all I'm showing you is how to grab from one place and put it someplace else. And oh god, I don't like the way that looks. Like, to me, that looks like footsteps. It's not irregular enough. We can also utilize some of these big stacks, whatever these things are right here. Let me highlight him. I don't know exactly how much of this I can take. Oops. Well, let's grab this stuff. Okay, here. Let's copy them. Let's zoom out. Let's right click. Let's paste. We highlight him again and let's drag him right out. Alright, now to make him look different from the one that was here, I'm going to go into Edit Objects. We're going to go into Node Editing. I will click on, let's click on this one. I'm going to hit delete altogether. I'm going to do some breaks right here real quick. Right click, I'm going to delete the span. Down here, right click, I'll delete this span. I'll highlight this, hit delete altogether. I want to connect this point to this point. Edit Objects. Close Vectors with a smooth curve. There we go. It looks a little more natural in my opinion. We've got whatever this haystack thing is. I don't know. Edit Object Selection Mode. Hold down your left mouse key. Delete this stuff out. We're going to come over here and we're going to highlight this one. Holding down the Shift key. Let's highlight and get all these lit up. Now what I want to do is I want to take and I'm going to move the haystack, or the corn stack of corn cobs over here to the side. I'm going to hit copy. I'm going to hit paste. I'm going to drag this one out. I'm going to downsize him a little bit. I'm going to hit paste again. I'm going to highlight him. We're going to drag this one and maybe shrink him up just a titch. So now we've got these stacks of corn stalks here. We've moved a couple over here. I told you we're going to add some more water and current effect in here. I would definitely add more tracks behind the sled for as to where the horse was coming from. And I'm going to work on this road just a little bit more. Now, as I've told you, I've already got this programmed. You will get what we've been working on this whole time. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video real quick. I'm going to pull the finished piece in and we're going to work on the tool pass together, because this is, like I said, this is going to be a big piece and this is going to mill for a while, okay? So, everyone, please bear with me and we will be right back. Alright everybody, let's get our tool pass cut and let's get this thing finished up, shall we? Alright, this is the actual finished piece that I've come up with. Now, I told you the last thing left is going to be putting our tool pass in. Now we've gone in, and let me zoom in on a few areas to show you more. A lot of these little specks can be deleted. It depends on how much structure you want to leave in your trees, alright? All the little doodads and dots and breakup. You don't have to keep them all. You can if you want. Again, it's your engraving. Take out what you want. Alright, the other thing that we've done here is we've cleaned the road up a little bit. I wanted to make sure that the road was visible and it could be seen. These pieces up here, to me, they take away. We're going to get rid of them. This one, maybe this one I'll move down into... I'll move this guy up into here. And again, this is my depiction of how I think it should look. You may come up with something completely different and a lot more awesome than what I thought up, so... With these big patches out in the middle of this lawn, I really don't understand what they're there for. So we're going to get rid of them. Alright. So we have some nice definition to our road going up and in now. We've got our hay bales or stacks of corn over here. We've got the tracks onto the sled really kind of mismatched and all dunged up. We put a little shoreline along the edge of the waterfall, so somebody coming in, you know, could stand here, maybe do a little fishing or whatever. We got the rapids. Now, on the front lawn of the cabin, if you wanted, that I think is a stump we can get rid of. You could clean up even more of this if you wanted. This is all entirely up to you. You could put a deer on the lawn or a small animal. I mean, that's, again, folks, it's your engraving if you decide to render it, so you build it as you see fit, okay? All right, now, because this is going to be done on a flattened surface with our spoiler board bit, we're looking at basically all the engravings here. We'll include the waterfall here with this little outcropping of land as one engrave. We'll throw the rapids in there. The little horse and the buggy with the tracks underneath will be our second toolpath. The covered bridge here, the bridge with the little barn and the trees, that'll be our third. The cabin with the trees and this little piece of range here, that'll be our fourth. So on and so forth. We're not going to sit down and try to mill this in one sitting. My God, I think I'd probably burn my router out. Well, first things first. These are going to be all Vcarve engraving toolpaths. So we're going to start with them, and let's do the we'll do the waterfall first, and that's what we're going to call it. Waterfall. Now I want to check and make sure I got my 60-degree V-bit, my 1/4-inch shank. Again, your feeds and speeds are going to need to be set up for your machine. 12,009. Okay. That's a good starting point for mine. The other thing I want to do is I want to see just how far, okay, all this goes over and in. I'm going to start from up here, and I'm going to come down. I'm going to highlight all this, holding down the shift key. And the way we did that, again, we were over here in Edit Objects, Selection Mode, left click on your selection mode, drag him down. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to hold down the shift key, and I want to grab any of this that didn't get lit up. Alrighty. I think we can take that. And we'll take all of that. We're going to come down here. Whoops. I'm still holding down my shift key, though. Let's come in. Let's get all of him. I'm just scrolling in and out with my mouse. Told you we're going to light up the waterfall here. And the rapids. And we'll get this block of whatever this is, a rock or whatever else. Alright, this is our first toolpath. I'll start out at a depth of 40 thousandths. I'll keep an eye on this as it goes, but we're going to hit calculate. It's telling me that there was a duplicate vector identified in this section and it will be ignored, so it won't mill that same toolpath twice. We click OK. Alright, we're going to set him to black. There's our first one. Let's come over here. Next one we're going to do our little horse and buggy, our couple that are out getting a ride in their sleigh. I am going to come into another Vcarve with my 1/4-inch V-bit, my flat depth, 40 thousandths, and we're going to call this sleigh or sled. I am going to come in from the bottom, again, Edit Objects, Selection Mode. I will come down here, we will highlight all of him. Now yes, I'm going to highlight some of this upper stuff too. Don't worry about it, hold down your shift key. We'll highlight that. We'll unhighlight that. We'll unhighlight this. Let's come down and yeah, we'll figure in the sled in that right there. And we'll grab these two. And that one. Alright. Sled, let's hit calculate. We're going to set him in black. We're going to see all previews. Oh, preview all toolpaths. Okay. We may have to play around with the horse only because he looks a little shallow, but no big deal. Let's come back up. We've now got 2 of our tool paths cut. So let's come up here and let's look at, and the other thing too is you can double check where you've just done things so that you don't highlight them twice. Like up here, I realized that I want to get this little bit of outcropping in my cabin. That'll probably be, matter of fact, that will be our next tool path. Let's go in up here. This is going to be cabin. And we're going to come in here. I'm going to highlight all this. Let's try that again. Alright, we've got him all highlighted. We got the areas around the waterfall. And we've isolated the little snow-covered barn here with the little bridge. We're going to calculate him. Great. Let's add some color to him. All right, there's the cabin. We've got the nice rocks. We're up here on our knob. It's starting to come together pretty good. A few pine trees, waterfall coming down, and our horse and buggy. So let's come down now and let's do the snow-covered barn. All right. Again, we have not left Edit Object Selection mode. I just come in. I merely highlight things in with a box. We pull them up. We highlight that way. Now, we hold down the Shift key and we uncheck the things that we've already done. This is where it gets a little time consuming and a little crazy. Alright, I think we've got everything highlighted here that we've got the covered, we got the little bridge here. We got the trees around the barn, and we got some of these stacks of corn in the road done. The last quadrant that'll be left will be the big farmhouse, okay? So, let's come in. We've got the correct depth. This will be, we'll call this bridge. We'll click Calculate. 2 open vectors were identified. Okay, they're being ignored, which is fine. We're going to set him in black, and we're going to preview that visible toolpath. Okay, the stacks are lining up pretty well. And the nice thing about the image rendering capabilities of the CAD software is that you'll be able to look and see if you need to add or touch anything up, or bring a little bit more to the piece. All right. Last and least, we've got the whole big farm scene here to deal with. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to unclick off of this. We're going to zoom in on this one quad, and I'm going to come down here. Oh, let's try this again. Alrighty. Now, I'm going to hold down my Shift key. We're going to come in, and we're going to get this final toolpath rendered by God, so that we can get we can think about getting this job on the table and getting it milled. And again, we'll call this one Farm, and we'll click Calculate. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will be the really, really, really long one. And the reason I've broken all these up is so that they can, in fact, be run on the equipment in sections. I'm not going to try by any stretch of the imagination to do this all in one day. Just, it isn't going to happen. Okay. The last part of the engraving is in. Let's set it to black. Let's preview that one visible toolpath. There we have it. Now, yes, granted, we've still got a piece of the frame up here. This is going to be sanded, Remember I told you we're going to do a 48 by 20 exactly. That big patch of gooey, nasty pine pitch is actually another couple inches over here to the right. We're not even going to be getting into it. I did tell you though, when we go to set the material up on the table, we'll show you how to move it about when we need to, in fact, mill in other locations on these larger work pieces, okay? So for now, folks, I am going to probably leave it as this. Now, like I said, you can go back in. Please feel free. Download these files, all right? You want to add, take away. You want to put a deer on the front lawn. You want to add a couple crows or something. Maybe a scarecrow in here. Go to openclipart.org. Dig around. I guarantee you guys are going to find just about anything. Now, the equestrian scene, I told you, is on the back burner for the moment. We will, however, as the clip art comes available, and over the course of the winter, as I'm slow, we will just sit down and we'll put some nice scenes together, some bigger stuff, and I'll try to even figure out some more product lines that I can share with all of you. All right. Well, for today, I'm going to end this. I hope this tutorial, as always, helps you guys. Remember, don't ever be afraid to try new things, folks. Please go in. You know, variety's the spice of life. So I welcome you, and any of your designs that you guys come up with, please share back with us. I'd love to see some of the things you build, okay? Well, for now, I won't keep you. This is going to be a lengthy video, so please sit down with your favorite beverage, hot cup of joe, or maybe your favorite adult beverage this evening or over the next couple nights, and have a bowl of snacks and catch this video and see how to lay out this big, awesome, fully detailed winter scene, okay? Everyone, as always, thank you for your support. Thank you for following and subscribing to us, and I promise we'll try to keep them coming. All right, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.